Let's take some fluff and turn it into stuff. Thanks for coming by, and today I'm going to show you how to make a peg doll, needle felted peg doll. And I've already made her dress and her hat, and if I was to show you how to make that, that would be in another video. So leave a comment down below if you're interested. There's many ways to make the dress. That's why I thought I'd leave that imagination up to you. But today we're going to go ahead and make the peg doll, and I'll go ahead and attach my ready-made dress so you can get an idea how you want to make yours. Let's get started. Today we're going to make the doll that I call a peg doll because of the way her body is, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I've already gone ahead and made a dress for her with a matching hat and chosen out her hair color. And I thought, if you want to make a doll like her, she's a peg doll, and I make this dress to give her that poof, and that would have to be made in another video, how to make the dress. But once you make the doll, you can put any kind of outfit on her, and that's what we're going to do today. The supplies you'll need are the normal supplies you would use for needle felting: a fine and coarse needle and foam pad to poke onto. You'll need a because these dolls have articulated arms, you'll need to twist some wire, and I show you in a clip the type of tool I use to twist my wire and the gauge that I use. So there's what I've learned, different types of doll heads that you can make. Like, for example, when I made the mermaid doll, she was a knot in the head with wool over it. And then I haven't shown you this, but what happened was when I made the fairy doll, I showed you how to make her head, and her head was a doll that had a head that you twisted on, and for her it was a good thing, because what happened was I changed out her hairdo and just completely made her a new head, where you can see a neck now. Before, and there's a video that I show you where when I twisted the wire, because I didn't know what I was doing at the time, I didn't like it when I finished the doll, so I put a covering of this pre-felt that I made as a little choker around her neck. But I just didn't like the way she looked, but now I think she looks beautiful. So this is an update of my little fairy girl. And that was the benefit of having that doll put on a armature where I twisted it on, because I was able to take it off. Now you can make the same armature and have the loop but wide enough to where you put the head right directly on the doll, and that's an idea. Here's an armature where I did the same thing. I made the head first, and then I used an awl to put a hole in it, and then I attached it to the wire. I had extra wool, and I created a neck and added the extra wool around the arms to build it up. So this is just the core wool right now. I'm thinking of making a Christmas elf, but so this armature is the same way this doll was made. But today we're gonna start off with the cone shape. And this cone shape, once you make this, you can make the mermaid, a gnome, and then this doll that we're making. And if you didn't want it to be a peg doll, where we bring in this felt, you can just keep it wide and do everything else the same. Add the arms and the head, and that's what I'm going to show you. One of the tools I like to use is the scale, because if I make a certain doll, I want to be consistent in its size every time I make it, or close to it. So, for example, with this wool, I have it set for grams. I'll put it on and it should show 3. And once I make the shape in the base, which is the cone, that will be 3 as well. And that's just a way of being consistent on your doll making. Let's go ahead and move on to the doll itself. So I have the wool rolled in a cone, and I'm going to actually use this one, but I want to show you how to roll a cone just in case you don't know how, or you're not sure, or you're new, or whatever the case may be. You're going to roll it, and then you're going to turn it into a diagonal, depending which one is your dominant hand. So I'm a left-hander, so I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to take the wool, and I want to roll it as tight as I can, and see how it's starting to get long. So I'm going to tuck it in, because I still have a long tail, and so I want to keep it tight. I'm going to remove this little piece of vegetation. I always keep a trash nearby, a little trash can, just for that reason. There's hardly ever any in there, but I like to pick them out when I do find them. So let's continue rolling. I got a nice roll here. So now I want to make my diagonal. Okay. So now I'm going to start taking the wool and rolling it. And when it gets to the end and it starts getting too long that way, I'll bring it up and continue to roll it. Until I have the cone, and then I'll start stabbing it. But since we have one already, let's go ahead and save this one for later when we need to build layers. So here's the cone, and it's still semi-soft because we don't want to get it too hard here in this area, because we still need to add the arms. So if we were to felt this hard, I wouldn't be able to poke the wire through, but it's still manageable. This area is a little softer, it's a little firmer, but it's just right to stick the wire through. So you can't see the little hole that I made, but with the awl, I made a little hole right here where I thought would be a good spot for the arms. And I'll show you how I do this. I do like a little audition before I actually put the wire through, which I did ahead of time. But when it comes to the head, in this particular method, you make a ball with the core wool, and then you take your color wool and you put it over it. Now, one of the things that I do so that I don't get messed up on the front and the back is one side will be completely felted and the other side not so much. So this side would be the back side, and this side here is the front side. And I have the extra wool, instead of going vertical, I'm going to go horizontal over the cone, and I'll just put this on just so you can see what I'm talking about. So that's what it would look like with the head on there. So I'll go ahead and put the arms through, and then we'll be able to start felting the head to the body, and then also adding wool to the wire that I've already twisted. And the wire is right here. The wire is actually 12 inches. I go ahead and I fold it, and then I twist it, and then one side's already looped when I make the fold, and then I loop the other side. So here we go with the wire. I'm going to put it through the core, and there it is. Now we'll just lay it down. We'll take the head, and what I'm going to do is I want to stabilize it. So I'm going to put a felting needle right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and attach the head. So I have the head attached, and I'll go ahead and continue to poke at it, and thin out the neck, and then this will be wrapped around the neck area. Once I get it a little bit more felted, then I can bring that in, and then I'll go ahead and start doing the core wool on the arms, but I'll show you how to do that. So let me go ahead and do a little bit more felting, and we'll go from there. So I've gone ahead and add the head on permanently, and with the wool that I had on the head, I added the neck and took the excess wool off. And while I was putting the head on, I lowered the arms to make it easy for me to turn it around. And now we're going to work on the arms, and we're going to need to add core wool to the arm shoulders here. I'm going to bend the arms up so that I can make sure that they're pretty level, and that's fine for me. While one is up, I'm going to lower the other one, and then I'll start wrapping. Turn it, fold it, hold it, and I'll push it in, because what I want to do is I want to build this shoulder up. So that's how I do it. So I've gone ahead and finished one side of the arm so you can see what it looks like. And I like to get the hand done, and then as you can see on this one, I have a little bit of extra wool core, and then I have the skin tone, and that's what I'll do on this side. So what we'll do is we'll just go with the wool core from here all the way here, and then we'll cover it all the way up until we meet up to the core. And the way I like to start it is I start it on the back side, and I hold it, and then I start to turn turn it and tighten it. And now it's tight, and I turn it and I tighten it. So here's where we're at so far. I finished the arms, and we have the head on, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a proportion. I took a little bit of that core and I made a little tube. I'm going to put it on the upper portion of the doll, and then I'm going to take some of this core and I'm going to wrap her up. I'm going to put her little top up on her and give her a little poke. So I'll go ahead and felt her down a little bit more, and then we'll add some color to her. I think it'll be nice to add some purple. And then I'm going to add some accents to her sleeves and to her top, and then see how the dress looks like on her. So let me get that ready. Trying on her dress and her hat. Seeing how she looks. Now all we have to do is fit her to her dress and add some hair, attach her hat, and then I think she's done. But this is what the needle felt peg doll looks like. That's why I call her that. I added some pink to her cuff on her sleeves. I'm going to add some to her neckline. Put on her dress, add some hair, and attach her hat. I hope making this doll has been helpful to you. So let me go ahead and finish her up. So I got her hat all embellished, and I got her hair all on her head. And I have her dress ready to go on. And soon she'll be ready to show her finished self to you. Hope you stay to the end. And thanks for watching. So let's go ahead and put her hat on. Well, here she is, all finished. She has her hat on, but of course her hat can come off. And there she is. So I hope you try to make one for yourself. I want to thank you for coming by. And until the next time, stay crafty, be safe. So does Creative Corner saying, bye for now.